Hi, I'm Melissa Benavides, and I'm here to talk about the use of alternative energy versus the use of fossil fuels. The debate over the use of alternative energy versus the use of fossil fuels, such as oil, is more significant now than ever before. The important question is, should we look for other alternative energy sources, or should America just continue to be dependent on oil? With gas prices on the rise combined with increasing occurrence of oil spills that are destroying our environment, now is the time to consider other options to fuel our economy. The use of other alternative energy sources instead of sources like fossil fuels offer greater benefits to our nation's economy and to our environment. Today, the United States is the largest consumer of oil. According to Margaret Chris Hobson, no other nation is so thoroughly hooked on oil. And even though Americans constitute only 4% of the world's population, they consume 20% of its petroleum. America depends on non-renewable sources to fuel our economies, and because of this dependence, our country will go to great lengths to obtain these resources. Unfortunately, our planet is the one paying the price for this quest. On March 29, 1989, an American ship crashed into the Prince William Sound, spilling an estimated 11 million gallons of oil into the ocean. This disaster is considered to be one of the most devastating environmental disasters ever caused by humans, and is known as the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated incident. Now that I've given you a preview of the topics that will be discussed in my speech, let's discuss need. Why are alternative energy sources needed? Well, one reason is the impact that rising oil prices are having on our declining economy. For decades, the global economy has prospered because of low energy prices and the abundance of resources. However, that is no longer true today. The oil supply in the Middle East is not as plentiful as it was once believed to be. The limited oil supply, combined with continuous fighting between nations, is driving the cost of oil up. Rising oil prices are causing gasoline and food prices to soar at an all-time high. Consumers and businesses alike are feeling the effects of this dramatic increase in price. Consumers have no disposable income because it's either being eaten up at the pump or at the grocery store. The transportation industry is also seeing a drop in profits because the cost of gasoline is eating into the income being made. Almost everyone is concerned with how the spike in oil prices is going to affect the future of America, especially right now in this time of recession and nationwide unemployment. Information gathered from the energy crisis states that today, if global oil supplies begin to decline and eventually become depleted, experts believe the first thing to happen would be runaway price increases as supplies constricted. This would result in global hyperinflation, which would permanently cripple economies. With the need for oil rapidly increasing, many believe that change is needed now, before it's too late. Fossil fuels, such as oil and coal, not only impact our economy, but also have such detrimental effects on the environment. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Exxon Valdez oil spill that occurred in 1989 is considered to be one of the worst environmental disasters ever to occur. 10.8 million gallons of oil was spilled into the ocean, covering 11,000 miles of water. Hundreds of thousands of animals and billions of fish were killed. Thousands of acres of land were polluted. Now, a little more than 20 years later, the 2010 BP oil spill can now be added to that list of oil-related environmental disasters. After the BP catastrophe, President Obama stated, "The tragedy unfolding on our coast is the most painful and powerful reminder yet that the time to embrace a clean energy future is now." Apart from oil spills, other fossil fuels impact the environment in other ways. Coal is the dirtiest fuel and emits the most greenhouse gases of all energy sources. Unfortunately, it's also the fuel source used to generate half of the electricity for the United States. These greenhouse gases are causing a global climate change called global warming. Not only is our climate directly impacted, but also the air we breathe. Fossil fuels are polluting our air with dangerous chemicals, making it unsafe to breathe. These pollutants have been linked to fatal diseases like cancer and black lung disease. A good example of this are the coal miners riddled with lung cancer. Our country's continuous use of these fossil fuels is causing irreparable damage not only to our environment, but also to every living thing on Earth. Alternative energy resources offer viable solutions to the problems created by our country's dependence on oil. One such alternative energy source is solar energy. Not only is it widely abundant, but it's also a renewable resource, so it can't be used up easily. And while oil is outrageously expensive, solar energy is more cost-effective because the actual energy being used is free. Innovations in the solar industry have created a whole new job market by allowing both the government and many businesses to hire people to upgrade buildings, homes, offices, and even appliances with solar equipment. The production of electric and hybrid cars has also given a boost to the auto industry. The government is also providing incentives such as federal tax cuts to promote the growth and use of renewable energy resources. Grants and loans are being offered to provide the funding needed for future growth of these resources. Many states are also taking action, and Lisa Kruger has reported that California and other states have mandated that electric utility companies use alternative energy sources to generate electricity, and solar energy is increasingly the alternative energy of choice. These are just a few of the ways in which changes are already being made. Solar energy, wind, hydropower, and biofuels are safer alternatives to using fossil fuels. These sources are non-toxic because they're derived straight from our Earth's natural resources. For example, solar energy is completely fueled by the sun. The sun acts as a ginormous power generator that provides natural energy for the entire planet. And what's more, the sun is a natural resource, so it doesn't emit harmful pollutants into the air we breathe. Hydropower is another natural energy source that derives energy from our planet's abundant water resources. This energy is used to generate electricity. Another alternative source of energy are biofuels. Now, biofuels use food crops like corn to produce ethanol, which is then used to fuel automobiles. The most awesome benefit to using biofuels is a large reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, ethanol made from cellulosic feedstocks, such as switchgrass, or agricultural residues such as corn stover, has the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by as much as 86% compared to gasoline. Since so much of the world's pollution comes from gas emissions, this is such a vital benefit that can be used to help heal our environment. Unlike fossil fuels, all of these energy sources are completely safe and will not destroy the environment. And not only are they safe, but they also are renewable energy sources, and they are completely sustainable. Now, I've talked about the different ways in which the government can use alternative energy sources, like offering tax incentives to consumers and businesses, and even providing grants to fund the growth of these energy sources. Now I want to discuss the steps that we as consumers can take to limit our use of oil. First, you can sell your old vehicle and purchase an electric or hybrid car. This will cut down the use of oil. Not only that, but it will also decrease the amount of emissions polluting our air. Another option is to install solar panels in your home or office. This will dramatically decrease the amount of fossil fuel energy, like coal, that we use in your home or office, because you'll be running your home off the energy from the sun instead of from electricity. What's more, it will make your electric bill cheaper or maybe even free. With a little research and creativity, we can all find ways to limit our oil usage. In the past, our country's dependence on oil has always been fueled by low-cost and readily available resources. Today, with oil prices soaring, limited supply, and environmental devastation, America has to consider alternatives now more than ever before. Alternative energy sources will contribute more to our country's economy and to the protection of our environment than fossil fuels that are destroying them. By protecting our world, we are also protecting our right to live longer, healthier lives. Thank you.